Welcome to Independent Content Studio. Today my guest is Steve Matteo from Matteo Family Kitchens, also known as Chuck on Facebook.
Chuck is Facebook friendly.
We don't need to get into that too much, but
No, that's probably not the best story to tell, but yes, it is Chuck on Facebook, not Steve. Yes.
But thanks for joining me today, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I wanted to get you in here because we've been longtime friends.
Yes.
Done a lot of business together and had a lot of things that have happened over the last few years that I wanted to talk about and get out into the community. One, I wanted to thank you because every time we do something, you support it. And
Absolutely, it's important.
yeah, I mean, both community and my personal business too. So I just wanted to thank you personally for that. But then also talk a little bit about that. Like, why don't you start with a little bit of what are some of the things you do? Like, let's talk about Kiwanis Club right off the bat. Like, what's your involvement?
Kiwanis was something that I knew about because I had, my uncles were in it years and years ago when I was little. And growing up in Swedesboro, in every parade, you'd see sponsored by the Kiwanis Club. And you knew up at Kingsway, the key clubbers were always doing things for the Kiwanis Club, but I really didn't know what it was about. And then Pat Daly and Mike Warner, who I went to high school with, got real hot and heavy into it with Marty Caparos, who is the president, and he does an unbelievable job.
Yeah.
Chris Wilbraham's a local Swedesboro guy. He's been doing it, and he is by far probably one of the most needed people in there with what he does behind the scenes. Paula is great, and Donna is great. So we have a fantastic staff of people, the board basically. And it's to raise money, it's to help kids locally. You know, it's the greater Swedesboro Kiwanis Club, but we have a greater reach than that. You know, we've done things in East Greenwich and Woodbury, families that have fallen on hard times, husbands that maybe have passed away from something and the family has no way of getting through, and they're doing fundraisers, and we're trying to help out in any way we can. But what we do to raise money for ourselves, we have a couple of charity things that we do. And one is the 08-085 run that we do in Swedesboro, Woolwich, that we just did at Lock Ave Park. And that is fun. Ron Boss and I have a blast. We're partners up at Lock Ave Park at Tranquility Trail, and we have a little system. And those guys put together a great run. We had 129 runners, I believe, this year, which is great. And we do a golf event, which will be in October. To raise money, and that's a town and country golf course. We do a, right after Christmas, between the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl, we have a comedy show that we had at Botto's last year. We'll be having it again this year as a fundraiser, and that's more of a fun thing for the members to get together with their significant others and friends to enjoy a good night as opposed to just being a part of that. Doing other things. So the parade in Swedesboro has been taken over a little bit by the Kiwanis. And then in Swedesboro Day, down in the middle of town, we always have a booth there. We had a dunk booth, which I was Scuba Steve the one year.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed
that
last year.
That was fun.
Where were you last year?
It was very cold water when I did it. And then they did it the following year. And now we have Bouncy House that we support. That seems to be a lot easier on the adults. But it really is a community effort to raise money so that we can help out the kids and help out in any way. We give money every month to a few food drives that are local, couple churches, and anything else that's needed. If somebody comes to us with a dire need, we want to be there to help. And then our staff comes in and we vote on it, and it's pretty much always approved.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys, last year we do the Friendsgiving in Paulsboro, and the Kiwanis Club didn't even ask for recognition, and Mike Boss brought a vehicle to us. I think he probably brought enough to feed 1,200 people easily. Right. I think we were able to do almost over 4,000 meals, and I would say a third of them came from the Kiwanis, without a doubt.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And then I, on top of that, I mean, there's things that you did with me in the past, like way back when Hardball Village was a thing.
Sure.
You donated a floor to a family.
Correct.
And didn't even ask for anything.
No.
You did flooring for a couple other families that I know that you never asked for anything. And I think a lot of that stuff goes unsaid, you know, like, and it's things that, you know, it's easy, and I don't want to talk trash on people, but it's very easy to put a camera in front of you and go, look at all the great stuff I do. But I think that's what's always been so amazing about you and your brother and your family, is that you guys do a lot of things and don't ask for that.
Yeah, we don't need the recognition. And I mean that, and we just don't want a pat on the back. Right. You know, we get up every day. We've been blessed to have a business in our 31st year that's been successful. we try to help out with that as much as we can and give back to the local sports teams and anybody that kid has. They're in a play and they have a playbook and they need advertising help, and we try to help out with that. So it's all given back to the community. And obviously, yeah, we want our name out there, but we don't want it out there in a way where we're asking for the thank yous. Right. It's not important to us. You know, it's kind of God's work in some capacity. You know, growing up, my brother and I watched how selfless my parents were.
Right.
And my mom, the biggest giver I ever met. And it's just our way of, my mom's still here. We love Mom. Elaine, Matteo, we love you. But with that being said, it's just something that, you know, we want them to be proud of us. And it doesn't go into our pockets. We don't have big, beautiful, luxurious homes. We're happy with our houses. You know, we love our homes, but we want to be able to give back as much as we can. And time is hard. We'd like to do more. I love the Kiwanis. It's just enough time, but there's so many more people that do so much more than I do. I'm just more of a helper when it comes to that. I help on the board, and then any of the fundraisers that we have, I try to help out as much as I can without getting in the way.
Yeah. You know? Well, I mean, that's the hard thing. Like it's when you have the kind of business you have too, like you're on the move constantly. And I know, because I've tried to even connect with you sometimes, and it's like you got 80,000 things happening because you need to oversee every little thing. And people don't realize that how hard it is to have a family owned business, 2, to stay afloat right now with everything that's going on. And then 3, to actually be able to make sure you're doing a good job. You know, like you let one little thing slip over here, that's all you hear about. You don't hear about all the great stuff you do.
Of course.
You only hear the negative.
It's NASCAR. Everybody goes for the crashes, right? No one cares about the 150 laps where nobody crashed. You know, they're always looking for the bad part. But, you know, it's we work in retail and we work in people's homes. Right. And what we do it requires spending a little bit of money. You know, home remodeling isn't inexpensive. It's not going out to an inexpensive dinner. It's expensive. Right. Most people are planning for this for months or even years, depending on what they're looking to do in their house. So it's important, and you have to oversee that as much as you can. You know, we're putting product in your house. We have contractors in your home, and we have to make sure that you're happy with what we're doing, you know, in your home, and you're getting the value that we showed you in the beginning and told you that we were going to give you. You want to make sure that you're getting the value out of what we do.
Yeah, let's shift gears into that a little bit, because that's something that a lot of people know who you are, obviously, but there are a lot of people who have moved here recently, and homes are starting to explode in our area.
Absolutely.
And then they hear your name. Like, what is different between you and like a Home Depot, let's say?
Well, I mean, Home Depot, let's just put it out there for if they're just trying to establish who they are. They're going to put a flyer out, and they're going to be in your home, and all you're looking at is what sale do they have at Home Depot, and where am I going to go push my cart down which aisle to pick up what sale today. At our store, it's always the personal touch. I mean, it has to be. Again, you're spending a good amount of money, whether it's $100 or $500 or more. Right. Obviously more than that, but you have to know what you're getting involved with. So coming into our store, if you have no idea what you're looking to do, or you've researched it. Now, I love people that have done a ton of research. Right. Because I'm very interested to how did they pick up on researching, I want to do a new bathroom, and I read about this and I read about that. And not in every area does that work. It doesn't apply to every home or every product that we sell. So it's a teaching experience that we do. We like to go through and show people what you're getting and how this affects one thing or another. Some people come in and they ask for multiple things in a project, and they don't work together. Right. These products don't coexist. So we have to explain why if you use this, you can't do that. Or whether you design a kitchen this way, then this is a problem in the functionality in that. And putting an island in, or a peninsula, or the walk path, the cooking station. So there's things that we have to do so that when it's delivered to your house and the contractor is at your house, whether it's a contractor that we work with every day, a contractor we recommend to the homeowner, or it's a contractor that the homeowner found themselves and they love their contractor and we've never worked with before, we want to let them know that when we get that material to their house, that we know what we're doing, and if they follow the plan, that it's going to fit. And if they have questions, we're going to be available, and that's also a big thing, making yourself available. Yeah,
I think that's super important. And I think the other thing, too, to clarify for people is they can come to you if they just want to buy materials, right?
Absolutely.
So what type of materials? Like what do you sell besides kitchen?
From the ground up. So flooring wise, if everyone wants these luxury vinyl floors, waterproof, pet-proof, kid-proof floors, they all have these great names to them, and they're still just a vinyl commercial grade floor, but they're gotten fantastic and they're very durable, and it's a large portion of what we sell in floors. But you can come in and purchase those. We have homeowners that want to install it themselves.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right.
You can ask us questions on the installation, and we can guide you through that. What do you need to start to finish to make sure this is going to look professionally installed? Tile, everything in tile, the setting materials, the material itself, the finishing edges, everything that you need in that, hardwood floor, laminate. And then it comes to kitchens and bathrooms, cabinetry. You want to change your powder room out, you can just pull your own cabinet out. Want to put a new one in, we can come in and we can color scheme it and pick out what you want, the door style, the color, and then put a countertop on top of it. And there's various different countertops that you can choose. So you can get all of that, and then we deliver it to your house. Make it easy. You know, we have a delivery team, 4 guys in the yard that are loading and unloading, and my trucks are on the road 5 days a week doing deliveries and bringing things to people's homes. So everything in the kitchen that you want. If you just want to change the hardware in your kitchen, you like your kitchen, it's in good shape, it's 10 years old, you don't have anything wrong with it, you just want to update the hardware to gold or matte black because you did chrome and it's out of style in your eyes.
Okay.
We have a whole room full of hardware, and we can find the size for you and the style for you and ship it right to your house. And you can take the screws out of your old ones and put the screws in the new ones and put in your house. And that's a nice little update. It's a nice simple update.
Nice. So then basically homeowner, they're thinking about doing it, they come to you, they get a good plan, right? That's one. The next thing is a homeowner knows they're doing it, they already have a contractor, they send the contractor to you, or do they still come? Like, what does that look like?
No, we need to meet the contractor or have some interaction with the contractor. But it's always still, we're dealing with the homeowner. It's their project. Mm-hmm. So every project that we do is one of the Matteo designers goes to their house. We want to meet them. What are they looking to do?
Cool.
We want to measure every part of this kitchen, bathroom, flooring, whatever, we measure it. If it's a kitchen or bathroom remodel, it usually ends with us asking, can we take a few pictures? We need reference points. We need to see where the vents are, their outlets, what's the ceiling look like? Is there lights that need to be moved? So we take a few pictures for a reference point, and we come back and we like to devise a plan. And for us, we don't need to get the contractor involved until the homeowner is happy with the plan.
Okay.
Once the plan is like, that's my vision, I love it, it's great, what do we do from here? If they have their own contractor, that's where we do we send a set of plans to the homeowner with renderings to see the pictures of what it's supposed to look like, and then we send it to the contractor. And if it's a major remodel, then it's a time for an appointment to go back to the home with a double set of plans and go over it with the contractor, meet them, walk them through it, make sure they're comfortable with what we're doing. There are certain things that we design that our contractors that we work with every day are used to seeing in a plan. It's like, oh, there's Steve again. He always likes to do this one certain thing. Yeah. Maria Urix, who's a phenomenal designer, she loves to do the higher end looks. She can really find the uniqueness out of a smaller kitchen and make it unique. You know, cookie cutter kitchen's not with her. You know, she likes to make things very unique and very functional. So contractors need to know why they have 40 boxes of trim that show up to the house and where does each piece go. So it's important to have those conversations. But they don't need to be had until the homeowner's happy, the prices have been given for the materials, everybody's happy, and then you get the contractor involved. Otherwise, you get them out there for a plan that doesn't work with the homeowner, and then they have to come back again. And the contractors, let's face it, they're busy. They're working the tools all day long. They want to go home, take a shower, have dinner, and do sports with their kids or put their feet up and watch TV. We don't need to have them back and forth too often.
So how about that too? So if they come to you first and they don't have a contractor, what contractors do you supply? Or do you have a list? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we do. So we have contractors that have worked with us for years. We call them the Gold Star contractor list. And and subcontractor, the ugly word in the industry, right? People hear subcontractor like, you don't do installs yourself.
Right.
We'll roll back to my father worked at Wicks Lumber in Swedesboro.
Right.
And they did not do any installations. So for 30 plus years, he was a kitchen designer, and he worked with the local contractors and built a rapport that those contractors only wanted to deal with Everett Matteo because of how well he did his job. And when we opened up, we had the opportunity to start getting into our own installations.
Right.
But looking at some of the other build install houses that are here, we saw the prices. And all prices that my father would give for a kitchen were half the price of an install house. Well, they have a guy that sits out in a truck and checks on a job every day, and he's got his laptop. He's making sure the plumber, the electrician shows up, and he's coordinating, which is great, but there's a cost to that.
Right.
So we work with guys that we know. So when we say the word subcontractor, In our eyes, it's partnership.
Okay.
It's guys that we work with that we know we trust. The homeowner will get a price from them. We usually send out 2 guys that we know are in the area that would succeed in their project. Some projects are bigger than others, and some contractors shouldn't take the bigger jobs.
Right.
And smaller jobs are better for some guys that like to get in and out a little bit faster. So we get them set up with contractors. We give them a couple guys, let them go out there. No contractors are going to have the same overhead. So some guy gives a price of $1,000, someone else may be $1,500. Why are you 50% more overhead, maybe other things that they're quoting on the job? So we work with guys that we know their capabilities. We are somewhat responsible for them because we've gotten you in touch with them.
Yeah, that was what
you
I
know,
was gonna ask you.
the homeowner asks us all the time, well, if something goes wrong, well, there's only so much liable that we can take for that because you've signed a contract with a contractor.
Right.
And you've paid them and it was a referral. And that's generally why we give out multiple contractors, because we want you to pick the person that you maybe had the best rapport with, you felt at home with, you know,
Right.
maybe you could hit it off, and you just like their personality. Not always just the lowest bidder. It could be people that are going to be working in your home for multiple weeks at times.
Right.
So with that, we just want to let them know that we have their backs. If our contractors don't want to bite the hand that feeds them, if they're doing something, they're not hitting it off with the homeowner, then they need to let us know if there's something going on, and then we'll get someone else and we'll rotate somebody in there to make sure that we keep this thing going.
Right.
But if there's a problem, we want to make sure that we're going to help the homeowner. We're always going to be on their side and help them, and at least let them know what's going on. But that's so rare.
So you're like the liaison.
We
in that
are.
situation,
We
yeah.
kind of are. You know, we met them. It's a group date, and we're the guys that introduced them. But we just don't have those issues. You know,
Right.
I could count on one hand over 30 years how many homeowner contractor issues that we've had.
Great.
And that's just because they come in. If the plan goes well and the contractor gives them their plan and things work as they're supposed to, it's amazing how happy a client will be.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's when you have a guy that's more of a fly-by-night and showed up Monday, Tuesday, and we missed him on Wednesday, Thursday, and he came back on Monday and he showed up for 2 hours like that. But that's not contractors that we work with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guys that we work with, we've known. Some of them we went to school with, the
Right.
Jim Zangaris of the world, the Charlie McIntyres, Bob Brenlinger. You know, we had Dave Hummel, who is retired now, but he worked with my dad for 30 years, and Dave Schaefer, who worked with my dad for 30 years, and they came to work doing kitchens for us. And they have Christmas card lists from their clients that we deal with. That once you're in your house for 2-3 weeks, it's like you become a part of the family, and they enjoy them. And then what happens is when they need something else done, who do they call? They're
Right.
calling their contractor.
Right.
It becomes their guy. So
makes
that we
sense.
try to make sure we have that nice fit with our contractors.
How does that affect you with like timelines though now? Like what is that looking like? If I come in and I need a kitchen, like do people expect it like the next week?
Oh,
Or
of
is it-
course.
Right. So
You know,
like,
strike when the iron's hot. Like, you know,
Yeah.
your neighbor had a new kitchen, you went and saw it. Hey, honey, let's go to Matteo's, let's get a kitchen, and let's have it done by the 4th of July.
Right.
It's just not possible. You know, we tell everyone a quality contractor is never available today. You can't get them. Those guys should be booked out. They should be in a wanted state. For us, materials, if you're doing a kitchen for, say, kitchen cabinets, 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
That's what they are. You know, they're not custom cabinets, but they're built like they're custom cabinets. You know,
Right.
Craft Made, Schrock, Master Brand, cabinet companies, Decor, Medallion, Waypoint. We have several brands, and we do that so that we have a stepping stone in price.
Yeah.
Some of them are very equal, but they offer unique things that others don't have. So you have to be able to have all these products, you know, and their design capabilities. And we can do anything from next day cabinets for your flippers to high-end custom. So we have everything in between. But time frames generally are, it takes longer today to start a process to get to the end than it did before, because HGTV has created a lot of options.
I'm sure.
Green, blue, white, gray, quartz, granite, quartzite, subway, hexagon, porcelain, ceramic, you name it. What is there, and how do I make it work for me, and what's the best in my house? Well, obviously, that's for us to give you those guidelines and show
Right.
you and help you. But there's a lot of design making, and then it comes down to price. And it could be everything is perfect, and you give someone a price, and it's like, it's a little bit more than I want. So do we wait until you have that saved up, or do
Right.
we then shift gears and go to another line of cabinets or flooring or something that we can do to get your price down? So then we have to do a little bit of work. So
Right.
usually from meeting you the first day, from the phone call to coming out to your house to doing design work, coming into our showroom and visiting our showroom and picking out materials, to getting that final plan where everybody's happy and we've priced it out. And that takes about a month.
Okay.
Can it be sooner? Absolutely. You come in and
I'm sure it's on them too, right? It's like a back and forth.
Sometimes a showroom is your greatest adversary, but also your biggest nemesis.
Okay.
You want to show everybody what difference between an 18-inch drawer and a 15-inch drawer, because is that going to fit all my utensils?
Right.
Is the rollout trays that I put in this base cabinet going to put my crock pot, or do I need shelves? So there's things that we use our showroom for, so people can make sure that things are going to work for them, things that they already use every day in their lives.
Right.
But then it's so much options. There's your nemesis. It's like, all right, well, we had them sold on this, but then they saw that.
Right.
And now we have to change everything. And that's good. Again, showrooms are phenomenal. Those who don't have showrooms are doing their customers a disservice. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of upkeep. It's nonstop.
I was going to say, every time we tried doing something, you were updating your showroom.
We're remodeling right now. We're a shower set.
How often do you do that? It's pretty much every year, right? You're doing something.
Have to do something every year. Sometimes it's nothing more than something that we had on display is discontinued.
Right. Okay.
A color, a door style, the countertop, the
and then
floor.
People come in and they want it, right?
Never. You don't sell anything for 6 months, and then they want that.
I fell in love with some bathroom stuff one
time
when it was out.
Probably. It happens. It happens weekly. It's like, no, I'm sorry, we can't get it.
Right.
We're always on our reps to get into our store and make sure that the samples that we have are updated, and make sure we get the emails when a discontinued launch comes out, and then when the new stuff comes out, making sure we get the new stuff. So we love the new stuff. New stuff to us is Christmas Day. We see the same thing all the time, every day. It's peanut butter and jelly for breakfast every day. To someone walking in the door, it's beautiful, but we see the same thing.
Right.
So it gets a little stagnant for us, but the new things come out, we get real excited for. And then, it's something new for us to touch and show a customer, that we didn't have before. But to get back to you, we're 30, I would say a month of planning is our average. Less than that can be more. And then once everything's done with the contractor, then we're on their list. And most contractors, if you figure...
And this is for kitchens mostly,
This is for
right?
kitchen, but kitchens and bathrooms are very similarly timed.
Okay.
If a kitchen takes 3 weeks, a bathroom probably takes 3 weeks from start to finish. They're very similarly timed, depending on the size of the project, obviously.
Right.
And if a contractor's busy for 6 months, then you see how many jobs that they have ahead of you. Then you know that they probably have 8 or 9 jobs that they have to do, and you'll get on their schedule. I tell most people 3 months is generally on, is your timeline. During COVID, it was 6-9 months. Everyone was remodeling, and it was really hard to get contractors to work. It was really hard to get materials. We don't have that anymore. We're good. We're running. Everything is smooth. And so from start to finish, we can get into your house within 3 months.
And then what options, I know there's some advantages, right, to Salem County, being in Woodstown, plus also...
3.3125 sales tax. That's right. Yeah, so, absolutely.
Say that one more time.
3.3125 sales tax is what we have in Salem County. It was 3.5, and then they did their big change, and now we have the sales tax. So that's an advantage. If you're doing a kitchen and you're doing a $20,000 or $30,000 project in materials, which a lot of them tend to be in that price range, and you're half the sales tax, that's a big savings right there. You're getting appliances, you're getting your hardware, you're getting your backsplash tile cheaper if you get it with us than you would get it if you got somebody that was outside of Salem County. So that's helpful.
Right. And then, the other thing too, and I asked a lot of these questions, I know the answers because I'm a client, so I've done business with you. Mm-hmm. One thing that's just so cool is you go to like any of the other big box places, I walk up and down the aisles and I'm just like looking around. Mm-hmm. The difference with your place is immediately you're met by somebody.
Right.
And then you're also looking around and going, I'm here to see what I want to see. Like, I'm not smothered by power tools and other things too.
Right.
Like, I'm in a whole building with the things that I want.
Right.
Right. And then also the education that your floor staff has and the team, like, it really does make your decisions so much easier to make. Sure. Plus, one time I heard Tom, your brother, working with a client, and I cracked up because the first thing he asked him, are you left-handed or right-handed?
Absolutely.
And I went,
it's
what
important.
Does that matter?
It's important.
Like, but why is that important in a kitchen?
Well, if I'm standing at my sink and I want to load or unload the dishwasher, and if I'm the primary person who does that and I want to lean to my left, it might be important to go that way.
Right.
Let the righties for once figure out how to go left. We've been going right our whole lives, as Tom and I are both left-handed.
So am I.
So, we've learned to live that right-handed world. It's nice to get it back once in a while when we can.
Yeah.
Now, in my house, it's a right-handed house because my beautiful wife, she runs that roost.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. Love you, baby.
Yeah, you better.
Absolutely. But so I live that. It's her kitchen, it's her domain, in that. But yes, as far as walking in our store and walking down a home center aisle, if you know what you're getting, if a contractor tells you to go pick out a certain size tile and get so many square feet of it, and you want to load up your, car with tile yourself and load it and then unload it in your driveway and bring it in yourself, you can do that, obviously.
Right.
But for us, it's more important for us to do that for you. You walk into my store, you're going to see Tracy Eller. And Tracy Eller is Mrs. Salem County. Everyone knows her. Everyone loves her.
Her biggest flaw is how much she likes my dad, though.
Her biggest flaw is Big John Lucas, absolutely.
She laughs at all his jokes. I can't stand that.
She loves him. I think it might be reciprocated, even though I wouldn't say that to Angel ever. Tracy knows you, and is always going to greet you with the biggest "How are you today?" And chances are she might know you. If you come in the door.
She defends you like no other too, and that's funny. I tried talking trash one time. I learned my lesson quick.
Tracy's good. Tracy has our back for sure.
She does.
Absolutely, we love Tracy to death.
Well,
my whole staff is
to that thing too, though. Like what I was getting at, besides that personal touch, I even remember I was doing my bathroom, and there were things I wanted, and you actually told me, "Don't do this." Like only because my wife, she loves. How do I say this delicately? It doesn't matter. If it's the most expensive option in her mind, that's the best option.
Sure, right.
So, but you were able to talk us down. The smart move. Most contractors won't do that. Like you want to make the most money off of somebody, and that doesn't seem to be your motto. It's what's the best.
Don't want a mistake. I don't want you to regret something tomorrow that you did today. You come into the store and you saw something at someone else's house. You hear that saying, I love it at your house, but I don't want to love it at my house.
Right.
So like my nephew Dominic, his kitchen is phenomenal. It's blue, it's beautiful, beautiful house. Not my taste for my house.
Right.
So I could see how people could go in there and say, oh my God, I would love to have this in my house. And then you go put it in your home and you're like, in 5 years, it's a big purchase to regret.
Right.
So listen, my goal is always to have the most expensive looking things that last. Doesn't have to be the most expensive things.
Right.
So if I have tile that's in my store that's, average, and the national average right now is $5-6 a square foot, that's what I want. But I want it to look like it's the stuff that people buy for $15-20 a square foot.
Right. Okay.
That will last. And that's always been that's why we're still here, Mike.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That we don't do high end. And we don't do builder work exclusively. We live in the middle. Living in the middle is going to be recession proof. Not saying we're not going to get kicked in the teeth. I'm not saying it's not going to be hard for us.
Feel that.
We're going to feel some pain,
right.
But it's not going to close my doors. Being recession proof is being able to, the majority of the people, the blue collar people, that's who you have to cater to. Right. Love the white collar people. They're equally great people, but there's less of them.
Right.
And sometimes they come with designers that want to come in and handle the whole process. You don't see those homeowners.
Right.
But you need to handle the people that are every day, they're busting their butts, they're coming home, they come in the front door and they're drinking a glass of water, they're taking a deep breath and thinking, I got to do this again tomorrow. So the last thing I want to do is upset them by what they bought from me today.
Right.
I want to make sure keep them happy. And the word of mouth has been phenomenal for us. Obviously I still advertise because people are moving into this area still at a crazy rate, and they don't know. They don't know Matteo Family Kitchens. They don't know us. We're in a little town, grew up in Swedesboro. Right. Now we're in Woodstown. We're still on the small scale of population. So we have to keep our advertising. We have to keep doing things like this to keep out front of people. But then also, hopefully, they go to the Little League games and they see the boys and the girls in their uniforms wearing the Matteo Family Kitchens and things of that we'd like to do. And maybe ask that question. Who are these guys?
Right.
And look us up. And chances are, when you go to those games, there's going to be somebody there that supports us and may guide you to our front door so that we can, bring you on as a part of our team too. We'd like to make friends with everybody, but there's enough for everyone.
I agree.
There's a lot of competition. There's enough for everybody.
Yeah, look, that was part of my next question. Like, obviously, if you're the only trick in town, that also wouldn't make you feel good if everyone's like, well, I have to go to them. Like,
Exactly.
people don't have to go to you.
Correct.
Right? And a lot of them are loyal to you guys. And you know that over the years. Like, there's people, and I've seen it, people that have bought their home, now their kids come to you, or they've moved and they're coming back to you, or they do upgrades. Absolutely. And it's like you're the first person to call, you know?
Absolutely.
So with that, though, how do you guys stay on top of trends and stuff like that? Like, I know you do stuff, right? Like, what do you do? Like,
well,
how do you?
Tom and I are a part of a buying group, BKBG, and it's been phenomenal for us. It's a once a year we have to go to a conference, and they bring in the best of the best, whether it's finance people, bankers explaining to us about what's going on in the banking world, realtors explaining to us what's going on in different areas, pockets of the country.
Cool.
And also designers that are the ones that work for the companies, work for the craft maids of the world, that see the trends coming years in advance.
Okay.
They know when the blue is going out and the green's coming in, and what shade of green are we doing now, and what's popping with that. So we go to these things. So we try to stay on top of it, and we go to the meetings, and we take notes, and we really are involved. It's amazing. This BKBJ is amazing for us both. Obviously, trade publications are great.
Sure.
But again, I'll say HGTV. I say it in my store 100 times a day. And I say it to every client when they come in, because they get looking at things, and I'll bring it up because I'm sure they've watched a program and they've used something. But what's popular in California and on the West Coast is not popular here.
Right.
And what happens in New York, let's face it, what happens in Cherry Hill in 2026 will not become popular in Gloucester and Salem County and Cumberland County until 2027. It is a trickle down. It's like almost like they have to wait, make sure it's good. Is it going to stick? And then if it sticks, then we're good. Then we'll get it, you know. But we're going to show it. So for me, my showroom has to be on trend.
Okay.
And that's one thing that we're doing right now with a remodel that we're doing, is we're getting ahead of a trend.
Yeah, what's happening? Like, you don't have to tell me that if you don't want. But
no,
what are you seeing?
Love to. Listen, you know, I say it's a coming soon thing, but we just started demo in our showroom. We took out some vanity sections, and we're getting ready to put in a few showers.
Okay.
And what we have seen is the elderly community. Let's just face it, over 55. I don't want to say elderly, but
careful,
I'm there.
If you're going to tell me about the bench seating in my shower,
the bench seating is important.
I'm not that old.
It's important. Everyone needs comfort. Listen, Will. Everyone has a knee, a back, an ankle.
You better watch it.
It's important. You
so
gotta have
is that
comfort.
a big thing? Seating in the shower, like having
it is. But what it is today, it's the communities. We have 4 seasons of Weatherby right here.
Okay.
There's hundreds of homes in there.
Yeah.
You know, we got West Effort, you got Riverwinds, hundreds of homes in there. And when they were built very nice and with in mind for people to spend the rest of their lives in this house as long as they can. You know, she'll be able to retire there. They're one floor. It's easy life for them.
Right.
Walking around, no steps. And the showers are the issue. People still put bathtubs in. And standing, getting your foot up and going over top of a bathtub. It's not convenient.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people can't lift their legs, and they're tripping, and it's a trip hazard. You're going to fall. And you know what you're wearing when you get into a shower. The last thing you want to do is fall and be found, or have the 911 come and pull you out when you're wearing that birthday suit.
It's like my biggest fear ever.
Absolutely. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. I cover up when I'm by myself. It's terrible, you know. But, you know, we are converting tubs and fiberglass showers, taking it away from the bath fitters of the world that are charging $15,000, $18,000 to cover a piece of plastic with another piece of plastic that's only going to mold and mildew in a few years. And it is a complete ripoff to the industry, and I feel horrible. So one of our main tile contractors, Matt Quather, he's phenomenal, and he does large porcelain panels. And what that is, it's 4 foot by 10 foot, 5 foot by 10 foot panels. So now we're putting, for the person that has grown up and said, we don't want tile.
Yeah, let me ask, like, so is that like the back of the shower?
Full walls on the back wall, full on the sides.
And they're just giant
big pieces.
Really?
So we all grew up we're at my age, we've all had grout issues.
Oh yeah.
It's old tiles. Well, the grout today isn't what it was. I mean, it's way better.
Right.
It's all mildew and resistant and stain resistant and less sealing that you have to do.
Right.
But people still come in and say, I need to do a shower, but I don't want tile.
Right.
I don't want to talk you out of not wanting tile, but I can show you options. And there are options out there. And porcelain panels, which is a giant tile. Let's just face it. It's a giant piece of tile that we can put on the walls and eliminates 100% of the grout.
Wow.
That's all it is. It's a silicone corners. We can still put the corner shelves in. We can put niches in. We can put benches in.
Cool.
Floating shelves. Like there's things that we can still do to give you that. But now we're going to give you a bulletproof shower that's going to cost you what the bath fitters will be, but you're getting a quality product.
Wow, that's
You'll
beautiful.
never have to touch it again.
Very cool.
And there's going to be multiple showers with that, showing you price ranges from going with a simple fiberglass pan to walls with just corner shelves, no bench. Just keep it simple. Price smart,
right.
But something that's very useful for somebody, all the way up to if you have that oversized bathtub that you want to remove and do a giant shower, a walk-in shower with the tiled floor, with the bench, the giant niche, lighted niches if you want to have a little fun in there, but we're going to be able to take it from the most simplistic shower to a very high-end shower with these. And it's going to take all the maintenance out of it. No maintenance.
So bathrooms are really huge right now, right?
Bathrooms, Mike, is my life right now.
Yeah.
The kitchen, and that's me personally. I mean, I have my kitchen designers, but we have a few of us at the store now that are really just relegated to bathrooms, the walk-in showers. And it doesn't have to be a full bathroom. People come in and I don't need to redo it. My vanity's fine. My floor's fine. We can work within that.
Cool.
We can take out your tub and replace it with a shower. We can put a new tub in and tile the walls. We can fill the same footprint if that's what you want to do. And keep it simple. Do the 1 week install. From soup to nuts, we're done. We start on Monday, we're out of there by Friday, and you have your shower back, but it's brand new.
Great.
We can do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then how about on the flooring side of things? Like what are you seeing popular? I know vinyl is really taking
vinyl
off the last
tile,
few
vinyl
years.
plank. Vinyl plank's not going anywhere. It's just getting better and better. I think when it first came out and it really hit the market maybe upwards of 10 years ago, it was a nice new product, but it looked fake. It looked shiny and sheen. You knew it wasn't real.
Right.
And today we're doing 9-inch wide boards, 72 inches or longer. The texture of the grain is there, and they've been able to take the sheen of a fake vinyl and turn it into a matte, delustered finish like you can get with real hardwood floor. And you walk in, and you can't tell the difference. You can touch it and feel it, you know it. And I see in all the local restaurants, everyone's doing it because it's a quick, easy install.
Right.
It's amazing how little prep you need to install these floors over top of, say, an old tile floor. If we don't have a height issue, I can go right over top of your tile floor. Now we don't have to tear it all out and create a dust mess in your house. We can probably go over top of it. Not in every situation. We don't want to raise a height and have someone trip.
Right.
But in a lot of instances, we can just go right over top of what you have. Basement floors used to be Berber carpet for the pool table and the family room that you're creating down there. And now it's these vinyl planks because they have foam pad underneath them. They're warm, but yet they're easier to clean and it looks a little bit richer. It's a little bit nicer.
How about the durability of it?
Phenomenal. I know they're commercially rated. As with anything, you see the warranty lifetime, and let's face it, there's no such thing as a lifetime warranty.
Right.
There's prorated on that all.
Right.
But if you're not getting 15 or 20 years out of this, you're really abusing it. And that's with pets and little kids and just beating it up, sliding your couch from one side of the room to the other because it's time for the Christmas tree.
Right.
You didn't want to pick it up and move it or put the slides underneath of it. They hold up
Every
to those
dad's
things.
nightmare.
Every dad's nightmare. Time to move the tree, rearrange the whole living room.
Yeah.
But these floors have really taken over, and it's killed the hardwood floor business. You hate to say it because I love hardwood floor,
Right.
but hardwood floor used to be a value. If someone came in and said, I want to increase the value of my house, or say, let's put hardwood floor in, that's an instant value. Today, value is no maintenance. People are too busy.
Yeah, I agree.
Hardwood floor, you got to cover it with area rugs. Not that you don't want to put an area rug over your vinyl wood floor, but you want it to look real. That's why you put the area rug, not because you need to.
Right.
Real hardwood floors, they want walk-off mats. If you have it in your kitchen, they want it in front of your stove. They want it in front of your sink, or they don't warranty it. They want it at the garage entry, the front door. They want it all over. It's going to change color with the sun. If it's beating down, you're going to have all those things
Yeah,
that you don't get.
and they warp a little too, right? And things
They
like
can.
that. There's
Well, installation,
Yeah.
moisture. You get high moisture content in your basement, you can have expansion contraction issues.
Yeah.
Contractor didn't leave expansion around the perimeter of the room, it's going to buckle on you. So you have a lot more instances that you can have problems with that. But then there's the refinishing, and it's maintenance, where vinyl plank clicks together. And if I don't like it in 10 years, I unclick it. and I put a new floor down. I don't have to tear it up and do all the prep that you would have to do for everything else. So the value today has been in people's lives on what's going to make things easier for them. And the vinyl plank world, it is so much
interesting,
better.
And
then
cheaper. I was going to say, I'm assuming it's a
cheaper.
cost thing too, right?
Well, like figure if you're doing hardwood floor, you got different tools to cut it with, and you're nailing it, and staples are expensive.
Right.
When you do vinyl plank, you're clicking it together. You probably have 3 tools that you need to do a vinyl plank floor professionally, to put it all in.
Wow, what a difference. And then also, I'm assuming with the way that styles change, that's more appealing. If it is, like you said, like I only want this for 10 years and then I want to change it.
Again, I'm going to say it, HGTV.
Yeah, the colors.
They are going to change your colors. Make you think you have to at least paint your room every 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So if I put a hardwood floor in, and I love that dark, rich, brown, gray, and then 5 years from now, wow, that's outdated. I don't want to change any floor every 5 years. And that would not be something I'd be happy with if a client has to come back in. As much as I love to make another sale, it's not something that you want to do. If it's wearing perfectly, it's just they made a bad color decision. That's where we like to come in and say, are you sure?
Right.
You know, I mean, this is the colors that are going out. These are the colors that are coming in. I always tell everyone when I go into the store, we go right to the Mannington Mills rack. Mannington Mills is local, and they've been a great partner with us. And I always go to that, and I said, here's all the new colors that have just come in this year. And I just try to let people see. Because if you want to go to that real rustic barn-looking floor that we sold a few years ago, and everything today is more clean and smooth and light and bright, I just want you to know, here's the new colors.
Right.
You know, you make your own informed decision.
And
it's
you think
house.
those colors will be at least 10, 15 years is what you're saying.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
What are you seeing? Like what colors are starting to become
light?
Anything light color?
Light.
Yeah.
So
even with cabinets too?
Yeah, absolutely. So COVID brought in the white world.
Right.
When we first opened up, we had every color. But you had oak, golden oak tones, you had white, and you had cherry. Cherry being that dark red color.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that we still have in my store today is white. White will never go out of style. It's a nice, beautiful thing, and it's an easy base to put colors around. But everything was too sterile. And it was white, but it was gray. And it was white and gray countertops. It was gray vinyl plank looking wood floors. I don't know how many wood floors that you've ever seen in your life that are gray. There's not many.
Right.
Today, we're starting to see the light woods come back. We're mixing it. White cabinets, light wood island. Or vice versa, or adding those in. We're starting to bring those light wood back, and now the flooring is complementing that. The cabinet world dictates the flooring world's colors.
Really?
Because of the cost.
Okay.
Cabinet manufacturers, when you're doing kitchens that are meant to be in your house for 20, 30 years, and that's the color that you're going to, that's what dictates the flooring industry changing their colors.
Interesting.
So when you see sage green is popular in cabinets now, you're going to see a lot of wood tones that go with a sagey green wood, because they want to make sure that they can blend them and they can complement.
Wild.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to time here, but I wanted to ask you, what about the outdoor world now? Like
outdoor world is picking up. I think there's a little bit of a wow, that's how much they are, because they're not cheap.
Right.
They got to be outside. We saw our winter this year, a lot of ice. It would have been frozen to the ground, and then it gets real hot and humid. So it's got to be able to withstand living outside. And at our store, when you pull up in our parking lot, before you walk in our front door, you will see an outdoor kitchen with a grill on there with a countertop. And we promote that because it's a good line.
Right.
But there's so many colors to come from. It's not as many as you can get for the indoor of your house, but they have some really nice colors. If you're familiar with a decking called Trex, it's similar type material. It's a composite material that's going to withstand the sun, the rays of the sun, so it doesn't fade it. And then also the cold. It's not going to expand and contract where it's going to crack or you're going to have problems. And we have trash cans that are built in ours, and you can have all these roll-out trays. It's all metal on the inside, so you have metal, and the way that it's made, it's just meant to withstand all the rain and all the heat and all the being left outside. It doesn't have to have a roof on it. It's been popular. What we do the most of is people have their own Blackstone grill, 2 cabinets, 1 on each side.
That's what I got.
Put a little countertop on it. That way you have some things out there, so you have a place to put the buns when you're making your hot dogs and you want to put it. You know, you got to have a place for that. And then also, as you're prepping, you have a storage place for the rolls, for everything else. That's been popular. So it's not that expensive to get 2 cabinets and some type of countertop material that goes on top of it that'll hold up to the outside. But we also do full, huge outside kitchens too, if needed. You got a big barn and you want to put an L shape, a 20 by 20 L shape in there, we can modify it for that too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've noticed, especially during COVID, I mean, swimming pools are popping up everywhere. Yes. And that was something that I assume people would probably be thinking about, but maybe they don't think about it properly. Because, like, even myself, I know, like, I've gone through grills over the years. I've gone through outdoor furniture is never built to last.
Right.
So it's smarter to, like, just do it right the first time.
Well, sure. I mean, you could do a built-in grill that we cut right into it, and so it's sitting on top of it, and they're nice, inexpensive. We got ours from Home Depot. The one that we have in our at our store, and we use as our showroom outside, and we got that.
The grill itself.
The grill itself that we put on top of it. It's amazing how beautiful it looks and how inexpensive it is. Cheaper than a Blackstone.
Right.
And you can have that built in, and it's got the cabinet underneath that holds a propane tank, and it's very high end looking without the high end price. But we can fit any size. You know, you got 4 feet, you want to do something small or you want to do something bigger. You know, again, just like we do for your inside kitchens, if you don't have an idea, but you're like, maybe you want to put it here, maybe you want to put it there, we'll come over to the house and we'll measure it. We'll try to come up with an idea. And we can still do a rendering for your outside grill and your outside cabinets to make it look like it's supposed to, so you know what you're getting. So we can play with that as well.
Now, do you suggest people, like a lot of them, I assume, go to landscapers to do that stuff?
Sure.
So do you tell landscapers to come to you? Like
we have a few contractors, landscape contractors that we have, you know, that they send their clients into us. Very, very little. Obviously, if they have the capability to sell the material too, then they're going to cut us out of that, and that's fine. But there's a few guys that will they want to do the EP Henrys and they want to do the block themselves,
right.
And then they do it to our plan. And they come in and get the cabinets for us. I'll say, go see Matteo's. They'll give you a plan, give it to me, and they'll build it into the retaining wall or the bench seating off the steps coming into the house.
Right.
So we try to make sure that we give them a plan so they know exactly what sizes they're working with.
Very cool.
And it goes from there.
Yeah, I've been seeing it more. I've been seeing a lot of people, and I get very jealous because I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. Like some of those outdoor kitchens are sweet.
They're nice. I mean, I've seen people that don't have a space for them, but they have an open patio.
Yeah.
And they put it out there, and it's there until the weather gets cold in October, and they put it out in their shed. And they break it down. They can be. It's modular.
Wow.
You know, you can take them. They don't have to be screwed together. You can have separate pieces. They can stand by themselves, and you can put them away. I don't know if I want to do that because the countertops that you usually use in an outside kitchen is usually some type of stone.
Okay.
It's a porcelain material or some type of a granite or a quartz type material that you want to do. So it's heavy.
Right.
But it's not saying that people can wheel them into their sheds and get them out if they're just not where they want to be for the winter and want to protect them even more. You can.
But they're built to last.
They're built to stay outside.
That's wild.
The ones that we've had have been outside for 4 years, and we have zero issues with it. Other than, you know, you have to clean it a little bit. You know, when you get the weather that hits it, and that's why you got to throw the hose on, a little Dawn detergent and a rag. But that's all it takes.
Wow.
It's easy as that.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty fun.
All right. So before we wrap up here, let me just recap a couple things, or recap with me the ideal situation for you. Who are the people that should be calling you tomorrow?
Everyone.
I know, but for what? Like, give me the.
We don't have a problem with people that just don't know. Sometimes that's better. You don't know when you're going to do it, how much it's going to cost, but you just don't know where to start. We love that. That's great. And all the way up to someone that's ready to go tomorrow. They have a great idea what they want. They have friends that have maybe the same development style house that they have had work to it, but they don't want to quite do that. So anybody in between, you know, basically we just want to be there of assistance. We don't charge for any of the design work that we do. So if you wanted us to come over to the house and just, I'm not ready to do it, maybe by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year, that's great. Because in all honesty, I told you earlier, 3 to 4 months before we would start it anyway. So it's going to take time. I expect it to take time. So we can come out, we can devise a plan now. We can have you come into the store and allocate an hour or two with one of our designers or myself or my brother. And we can pick things out and go through that and make sure you get everything you want and give you a price. Get the contractor involved. Let's get you a number. And then you could go from there. So, all right, I know when I want to do it.
What are the hours? Where's the store? How do they get a hold of you?
Woodstown, New Jersey, 20 Old Salem Road in Woodstown. If anybody's familiar with Cowtown, it's basically on the same street. Instead of turning left at the Wawa, you go straight, and we're right down past there. Everyone, that's how we tell everyone. You ever been to Cowtown? And that's how we know which way you're coming and how familiar you are to get to the area.
Okay.
We're open every day but Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're open from 8:30 to 8:30. They're evening hours. Saturdays, 9 to 3 for now. When Memorial Day hits, we'll be 9 to 2. We give our staff a little break. It seems that people love their Saturday afternoons. They want to go to shore. They want to be at their pool. We get very busy in the morning. And then in the afternoons, it usually dies down. So I give my staff a chance to go have a little bit of barbecue and have some weekend as well. I just would tell anyone that wants to pop in, they're more than welcome. We're a retail store. You can come in, you can look around and walk around. If you're coming in and you want to sit down with a designer, call. Give us a holler at the store, 856-769-2490. Call us. And that way we can set up a time so that when you walk in the door, someone's expecting you. And then we can walk you through and we can take you through the process. You know, we do get busy. And if we have a full house of people who decided on a Saturday morning they want to stop at Matteo's, and every one of our designers, and you walk in and you come into our big showroom and maybe get a little bit overwhelmed and you're just walking around and you don't feel like you're being attended to, we don't want that. You know, we don't want that. We want to make sure that when you come in, you're more than welcome to walk in. But if you want to talk to somebody, give us a holler first. That way I can have somebody waiting for you and give you the time. We're not going to try to sell you. Just want to explain to you what we have and what we do and see what you're looking to do and see if we can progress a little bit further with you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, Steve, yeah, man, thank you. I love it.
Thank you.
We're let's get you back, you know, maybe in a couple weeks here.
Sure.
And we'll check in because we'll hear what's coming up for the winter, you know, and all that.
I'll check my flights.
Yeah.
I'll be available.
Yeah. You're not going anywhere, you sure?
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, you are. You're always doing something.
I'm in Swedesboro, Woodstown, and everywhere in between. Look for my truck.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. But yeah, thanks again for coming in today. And
Thanks for having me.
We'll hopefully keep things moving along. And I always wish you the best. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome, man. Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Appreciate it.